So I decided to give CarX Street PC a chance.
Even the local cops are cool with us as long as we don't push our luck. And it's all thanks to StreetNet. This new app for races is a total game changer. You can earn a ton of money just by winning races. StreetNet has turned into a full-blown network for street racers with a system of classes, rating, and rewards.
Now I've never played CarX. I've never played CarX Street, CarX Drift. I've never played any CarX game, so this would be fresh for me. I was looking for a new game to play, a new game to grind, and this game has everything from the open world to the cars to the traffic. Traffic was a big one coming from an Assetto player. And I just want to give y'all my thoughts on CarX Street PC after playing for an hour. So first, as you can see right here, the inversion, you need to go change your settings. It took me about 20 minutes to change my settings. You need to calibrate your wheel. If you are playing with the wheel, don't think the wheel cannot work. You need to calibrate it, and you need to take off inversion. I was having this problem where my car was stuck at like 4,000 RPM, and I would press in the gas pedal, and then it would go back down to 0 RPM. So I knew that it was inverted. I had to figure out how to do it. It's in the settings. Please press Y when you're setting up your buttons, when you're binding them. Just press Y and you'll be able to calibrate everything. It took me a long time, but after that, the wheel support did feel great. You gotta also turn up your force feedback. After you do those two things, the wheel support does feel great. It feels like it's a game meant to be played with wheel. So in the beginning, like any new game, yes, you do have to set up your controls. Like I said, you have to bind everything. You have to see how many buttons you have on your wheel and put them in the game. Now the graphics aren't as bad as I thought. And I thought because it was first a mobile game, CarX, that I haven't played, I thought the graphics would be kind of on the low side, but seeing as though I'm playing in 1440p, the graphics aren't as bad as I thought they would be. The graphics are actually pretty good. There's some tearing and it still has to be optimized for PC, but it's not a graphically bad game. I can't say that. I was actually pleased with what I was seeing. If you go look on Steam or you go look at some other YouTubers videos, a lot of the mixed reviews and a lot of the opinions on CarX Street did come back mixed. And I understand why. There is a lot of stuff in the game that could be better, but for a $20 game, as y'all can see by the title, this is a $20 game. And if you get the deluxe version, then it'll be $23, which is the one I had. I don't have many complaints. Now, me personally, one of my big gripes with this game was the no badges on any of the cars. And I know that the auto industry did that whole thing. They did it with GTA where you had to take off the car brands from the cars, and not a lot of them can afford to pay for licensing. But the unlicensed cars was a big one for me, because if I pay for a game and it doesn't have licensed cars, unless it's GTA or another game where the main focus isn't cars, I kind of feel like the game it's not an official game. The game can disappear at any time. They can sue them. It'll not be an official game. And as you can see in CarX, if you look through the car list, all they did was shorten up what the car names were and abbreviate them and add things like that. So BMW M2 in this game is BM2, but it still has no badges. There's no BMW badges, no Nissan badges anywhere in this game. And that was something for me that was make or break, because it doesn't feel like an official car game. It feels like I'm playing a solo developer's game or something lower tier, which is not a bad thing or a good thing to me. But for a car game, just like my steering wheel has a logo in the middle, I feel like every car should have a logo in the middle. Some people might not care, but for me personally, I need to have licensed cars, especially as a BMW driver. You want to see that black, white, and blue BMW logo on your car. You definitely do. But when we talk about drifting and racing and drag racing, a lot of people in real life don't have emblems on their car. So I can see the 50-50 mixed reviews on the game. It's all about perspective. In my opinion, is this game a bad game? No, in no way is it a bad game. Me personally, I played for an hour and I would give this game an 8 out of 10. When you get faster cars, the game will definitely be more fun. And when they add traffic online, the game will definitely be more fun. So I gave it a try. if you guys want to give it a try, go look it up in Steam. CarX Street PC. It's not CarX Drift. It came out this year, 2024, and you have 2 hours of playtime or 2 weeks from your purchase date to just give it a try. Go try it, drive around, do the intro monologue like I did. And at this very moment, I'm thinking about returning the game just because I don't know if I can give the unlicensed cars a pass. It doesn't look like a bad game by any means. This is not a bad game. But me personally, I just need to have licensed cars. I need to know that a game is official. Even Need for Speed, out of all games, has still kept their licensed cars. So y'all let me know. Go on Steam, try it. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm not the biggest drift guy. I've never built a drift car. I don't have dreams of me learning how to drift. Honestly, I used to always drift on controller. And controller is so easy to drift. If you ever played any car games, Midnight Club LA, if you've ever played any of the old car games before this current generation of consoles, it was so easy to drift on controller. Even on the PSP, it was so easy to drift. PS2. This will be my first year playing on a wheel, so I'm still learning everything, and I don't have the best wheel. This is a gear-driven wheel, the Logitech G29. But if you have a direct drive wheel, it is definitely easier to drift. But I was never the biggest drift guy. I'm more of a highway driving, cruising, nice car meets, like underground. I'm pictures. I'm more on that side of the car community than I am with drifting. But I can drift. I was never a bad driver. I understand the drifting physics, and I understand clutch kick and angle and Scandi flick. I understand it all. It's just not my lane. Like, I don't go out in real life trying to drift or wanting to build a drift car. So we'll see how I like this game. One thing I did do is first thing I did was went to go drive on a highway, and I turned the traffic up to high. If you didn't know, CarX Street does have a traffic slider. I turned it up to high, and I went to go drive on a highway to see if it would be anything close to Assetto Corsa or anything better than Forza Horizon, because that game is a ghost town, literally. And you do get a lot of cars. When you turn it up to high, you do get a lot of cars. If you sit in one specific location for a couple seconds, the cars do load up and they do get backed up. And the traffic in this game is very good, just not as dense on the highway like I would want it to be. And I know that's hard for a lot of games to do, to script it in to be more dense on the highway than it is in the rest of the map and on the streets. But this isn't bad. It's not great, but the highway in CarX Street PC isn't bad. Next video dropping will be the CarX Street PC full car list. So everybody leave a like, man. If these videos do well, we'll keep CarX Street PC going. If they don't, then I'm just gonna go with my heart and return the game, and we'll move on to something else. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, man.